Welcome. Yesterday I posted a video about a storm that came through. It was a huge storm, blew tree limbs down and stuff, so I was cleaning that up all day yesterday and again today. And we had power throughout this, but this morning it went off. So it went off for about 6 hours, I think it was. Some people had power off the whole time and they actually still have it off now, and our internet is still down. But we do have the power back on, which I'm very grateful for. But in this video I wanted to talk about a couple things about power outages and things you can use and have on hand. So I'll probably put some links in the description to some of these things, and some of them are affiliate links, some aren't. But there's a lot of this Ryobi color here, and this isn't sponsored by Ryobi, it's just what I have. But the things I'm going to talk about apply to other brands too. So I have a couple things here that are handy. This is a lantern. It's 330 lumens, has a battery on the bottom. This will run for, I think, 40 hours. It runs a long time on low, so you probably can't see it here. But this works fairly well. One thing I don't like about this is there's no handle on it, so I'll take this camping and you can put it on a picnic table. Works well for that, but it's not great for hanging from a tent because it's very heavy, and you can't like carry it with you. Like if you're going to the bathroom or something, you can't take it very easily. You can hold it like this, but it's not convenient for that. But it does have USB on the side, so you can charge something off of it here. And this is a 72 watt hour battery. So it's a 4 amp hour battery, and they make bigger batteries now. These are the biggest ones I have, and these are a couple years old and they're still working great for me. So I'm not necessarily recommending this lantern, but if you have DeWalt, Makita I know has a ton of stuff, Hitachi, there's different brands. They'll have these things like lanterns and stuff, and one of my favorite is the portable fan. I did a video on this recently where I was fixing it, and I use this all the time. And it has a battery you can plug in the back. This one you can also plug power into. I don't think I've ever plugged power into that. I always use it with a battery. This comes in handy during, like if you're at a baseball game or something, a Little League game, you could throw this on the bleacher next to you, keep cool. You can use it at a picnic to blow over your food, to keep flies and stuff away. But when the power is out, this works well to keep you cool. So with the battery on the back, I think I get, not this battery, this is a smaller battery, but with one of these I think I can get 7.5 hours on high, or is it 7.5 hours on low? I can't remember, but it goes a long time. So this is real handy. It's small, so you can like set it right on a desk and blow it out your face if you want. So I was using this quite a bit today to cool off after I was working on the trees. And then the one I showed in the last video was the reciprocating saw. Takes the same batteries. So I have 3 batteries here. And like I say, any brand, if you have DeWalt or something, these are some other accessories that are nice to have during power outages. You can get like a camp lantern that takes a bunch of D-cell batteries, and it's super expensive to replace the batteries in this. You know, this, you have a charged battery, it lasts a long time. So another thing I have is this solar battery pack. This one is 25,000 milliamp hours, and I did a video on this a while ago, and I have a smaller one too. I'll see if these are still available. I'll put a link below to these. And these are solar powered, so you can set this out in the sun to charge. And I've never tested it, but it probably takes a long time to fill it completely full, but it's better than nothing. So you can set this outside under the sun, let it charge up as much as you want, and then you can charge your phone with it later. Also, if you're driving somewhere to, say, buy ice or something, or going to work, you can stick this in the car and charge this up off your phone, so that's pretty handy to do. And this is a good size pack, so I do like this, and I was using this today to charge my phone. Well, and I don't know if I mentioned on the lantern that we had the power out, but it was during the day, so we didn't need the lantern today, but we've used that other times. And also I have these little USB flashlights. They charge here, and they're really handy too. So like if you're going on a little drive somewhere, you can charge these up in your car, but I like to try and keep them charged, and they do last quite a while. And these have a magnet on them. So I was putting some stuff in the freezer in our basement, and it was dark, so I turned this on the side, like so, and I stuck the magnet on a fluorescent light that was on the ceiling, so it shined down, so it was really handy. So now I'm going to move over to another option for charging your devices. Okay, so this is where my internet comes in my house, and I have my modem up here, and then I have a battery pack for it, but my internet's been out, so I don't really need this for that. So what I did is I plugged in my battery charger there, so I could charge up those Ryobi batteries and top them off, because they're mostly charged, but they could stand to have a little bit more charge. So I used that, and I came down later and this was off, so it drained that battery. But it's a source of power if you need it in emergency, so you could charge phones off this too. So this is a very basic one. If you go into the higher end ones, they'll have USB on it so it can talk to the computer. This is lower than that. So this one is good for network equipment in a house because this will run the modem for quite a while. And it doesn't really need to tell the modem when it's out of power. So it will just shut off when it runs out of power. So these are some of the cheaper ones you can buy. And this one has, no, this one does not. Some of them will actually have a USB port on it. And you can just charge your phone with it. So if you don't have a battery backup on your internet modem, it's not a bad idea to get one. And then, like I say, you can use it for other things too. I don't think you could plug a fridge in here or anything, but you could plug smaller things in here if you needed to. So now I'm at our chest freezer in our basement, and we have a fridge upstairs with a fridge and freezer, and this is a chest freezer, and chest freezers tend to be the most efficient style of a deep freeze. So, and this is in our basement, which is in a cool area. Some people will put these in their garage, but there's a lot of heat in the garage, so that heat will get into the freezer and spoil your food quicker. So if you do have a deep freeze and a basement, it's a good place to put one. So I'll open this up here, and you see we got some ice for it eventually, but by the time we put the ice in it, it was still frozen in here. I mean, everything was super cold. It hadn't really been penetrated too far as heat goes. So we took the freezer stuff from upstairs and we brought it down here, so all the frozen stuff was together, and then we put the ice bags in on top. So I think this would have lasted at least a day or two before it started to get to a point where our food was going to go bad. And then in our fridge upstairs, we put 2 more bags of ice in the fridge. Another thing to consider is that the more stuff you have in your fridge, the better, because that's going to be better thermal mass for keeping the fridge cool. So if you don't have your freezer full or your fridge full, like in a freezer, you can put some like gallon jugs of water in here to freeze, and it will take up some space. And then if you lose power, those will absorb heat and keep the other food cool. In a refrigerator, if you don't normally have it full and you're concerned that power could ever go out, you can get some like half-gallon pitchers and just put water in them and leave them in the refrigerator, and it will, keep it cooler. It will cause it to have less fluctuations of temperature. So I've had this open while recording this, and there's not a lot of cold coming out of here. It's right here. It's cool here. It's ambient temperature here. The cold's not going to flow out of it. So it's very efficient. So those are just a few tips for dealing with power outages. If you have any tips, please leave them in the comments. If you like this video, please click like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate it if you could do that. And thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.